Merry Christmas, everyone.
Hello, Miss Pagan. I'm here with Nicole. That's why it's all fucked up.
Great, and now we're demonetized because you cursed too soon into the stream. So
You can cut it out if you want.
that's true.
It's within 30 seconds.
So what's going on? Permaculture pagan. Sorry for the Christmas. But hi, Pim. It's been a while.
Well, hello, my wifey. You haven't told me about the Christmas tradition in October.
You know,
Is that a family tradition or what?
it could be a YouTube tradition starting today.
I see. Okay.
I mean, I have Halloween backgrounds. I have Halloween sounds like but I figured by
No
Christmas
mixing of holidays, please. Let's keep
that's
it
what
clean.
I'm saying. I have a Halloween background, but I'm wearing a Christmas shirt, so I figured I'd keep at least the theme.
Yeah. Okay. I shall accept that for today.
And possibly the next time. So
Jesus.
so what's new for as people are coming in, we are going to attempt to talk about food freedom, emotional eating, and all that, because that's what we both focus on professionally. And I know Pim as well as myself, we both get a lot of questions, comments, and all that in the chats, the comment sections, DMs, and all that. So I know it's a huge topic in the space, and not very many people are talking about it. So we plan to talk about that a little bit today.
Yeah, that's interesting, because honestly, if everyone solved that problem, we wouldn't need a lot of other YouTube channels that are talking about what you need to eat, how much, the macros, all of that bullshit. And still people are focusing on that, and that's what people are interested in because it requires no effort on their part. And it's sort of frustrating because, as you know, we can solve a lot of problems by just regulating, or managing our relationship with food, I should say, because that's what it is about, essentially.
Yeah. It's people are too focused on, yeah, the food, not even the food really, not even eating the right foods, but they're more focused on the Band-Aid, the commodity, and not really focusing on the root cause. I mean, I fell into
Yeah.
that trap and, I was focused on weight loss and all that stuff without addressing the emotional side and the root cause. And once I did that, I was able to really make a positive transformation and make it stick.
Yeah. I want to share something. I'm just looking for the message. Hang on. You talk for a bit. I'm gonna go and sit.
I talk for a bit. All right.
Yeah.
What's up? What's up, Jim? Uh-oh, almost dusters for me.
Jim, that is dusters, for goodness sake. Several minutes late. Okay, I found it. So I'm doing like this experimental 8-week intuitive keto weight loss group right now, and I'm using 5 people as my my subjects. They are my guinea pigs, and I have them do a lot of testing, so they have to pay with their blood, literally. Because I'm not charging for it. I'm just developing a program that I probably release in January or whenever, because we're going to be finished in December, so I might be ready for January. And we're on the first week, and the first week I've asked them to not do anything, like to not change anything in their diet unless I've told them so. And if we change anything, it might be, something small. And I just want to see what their baseline is, what's happening right now, how they react to the diet they have been having. Because the people in this group, they have been on a weight loss stall for at least 2 months, and they are already on a keto or a carnivore diet. So I just want to see what is happening. 4 out of 5 people in the first 4 days have already started losing weight. And one of them sent me this message. She said, I really thought it was going to be tough to figure out what my problem was, and it might just be that I was eating too much. And these are people that have tried everything. They try OMAD, they try intermittent fasting, they try, you name it. They've tried everything. And then as soon as you start tracking and you just start looking and you start paying attention to it, you're going to automatically, even though I told them to not change anything, stop overeating as much. And I think they probably still overeat. And I mean, we could discuss that because so many YouTubers are just going out there and telling everyone that everyone is under eating protein and you need to eat this much protein. And it's this sort of obsession with protein that I think is to blame for a lot of this in this community specifically.
That and fat. Every time I'm in
Yeah,
a
that too.
live chat and people have a weight loss stall or struggling with whatever aspect, the advice I hear all the time, increase your fat and take electrolytes. I was like, no, that is not a good answer. But that's
How
what
is
I
electrolytes going to help?
yeah, that's the those are the two recommendations I hear
Okay.
the most. And people are gaining weight, people, especially women. I've been hearing this more with women struggling with, and I know Mike is here. What's up, Mike? What's up, Michelle? Shout out to my channel member. So I know we have some men in the chat. This isn't just for women, but
Oh no.
I do I do work predominantly with women um, in my professional side, and even on YouTube, I hear a lot with weight loss issues, sleep issues, um, lack of energy, um, and those sorts of things. So those are the three main issues I hear the most, and the people I hear it the most of are women. And I was kind of in the same boat a little bit. So I think protein, yes, is something that's kind of overhyped, but I think so is fat and
Oh
electrolytes,
yeah.
and I think there's a lot at play. But I think gender, if you're a male, you have an easier time with OMAD, you have an easier time fasting. I think we're just different creatures in my opinion because we're more hormonal, we have more hormone fluctuations, we're on a 28-day cycle, like there's a lot more at play here.
Oh yeah.
So I think your diet affects women differently than it affects men also.
Yeah, and that's something that I've noticed with myself. My blood sugar is following my cycle, and I'm not
Right.
changing my diet at all. Like my baseline uh, around my period is up in 85, 95, and then the rest of the time it's down in the mid 70s. What
Yeah,
the
so I
fuck's
don't
going on?
yeah, do you so what is the ultimate goal of your program? Is it weight loss specifically?
It's to help people who have been stuck on a plateau to start losing again. What we're aiming for is if they have at least 20 pounds to lose, I'm aiming for on average probably 2 pounds per week. Um, I have no idea if we're going to achieve that or not. I think for and it's funny because actually I have four ladies and one gentleman in my group, and I think all ladies have already started losing weight, but he hasn't. So
Oh, wow.
that's an interesting one.
Yeah.
But on paper, his diet is also really, really good, and he has been stuck for I think 15 or 16 months. So it's going to
Damn.
be interesting. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah. I'm
I
doing
like
it.
the tough cases. I'm like, hey, we're going to figure this
Let
out.
let me put my inspector hat on.
Exactly. I like a mystery. I should have been a detective.
But that leads perfectly into the question you wanna ask me about the experiment I'm doing, but, I do wanna say Merry Christmas, Michelle. What's going on, Renee? Renee is on time. Renee,
Whoa.
my girl, on time.
Sweet as.
And then I will get to you, permaculture pagan. Mike says for people dealing with sugar addictions, I don't think they help themselves by having these carnivore treats like ice creams, pizza, etc., because they resemble the food that got them addicted. Yes, and I also don't think we should be eating that stuff anyway, right? Because that's what this community knock vegans for doing with these alternatives, but then
Indeed.
then people are doing the same thing with the ice creams and the pizzas and all that stuff. So we're really not different if you think about it. But no, I agree. I think, in my opinion, and you know, Pim can share hers. Hopefully we're on the same page. But in my opinion, for me, I abstained. Um, at first. Um, but I think if you do have an addiction, you really have to take care of your mental and emotional health first and foremost. Because until you do that, really, you're really not going to see lasting change or overcome your addiction or whatever it is you're struggling with. For me, it was binge eating. I had binge eating tendencies. So I would just put a band-aid on it, right? I would just abstain from those foods. Drop the weight, this yo-yoing and this vicious cycle. And I didn't really take lasting change or really lose weight and keep it off until I went to therapy. I'm not saying you have to go to therapy. I think everyone can benefit from therapy, in my opinion. But my point there is you can't just put a band-aid on the problem by getting the food out of the house and thinking that's going to solve the problem, because there's something else going on, and it's usually trauma related or something. In my case it was trauma, but there's something going on. There's a deeper rooted problem. So just focusing on food, yes, that's a huge part, but just focusing on that is not going to fix anything long term anyway. So I agree, Mike, for sure. But yeah, I think most people just focus on the food only, and they don't focus on the deeper rooted problem. But what do you think, Pim?
Oh yeah, I agree 100%. The only thing I would like to add is probably that the thing with these foods is, yeah, I think if you're someone who really shouldn't be having sugar or carbs in any form, maybe because you react really badly to them, you have an autoimmune disease or diabetes or whatever, you can use these fake imitations like low carb pizza or whatever if you really need to, but to just substitute them with these alternatives is not going to take care of your addiction, because you're still going to feed the addictive pathways and keep that alive in your brain. So you're still going to be as insane in your head as you were eating sugar. It's just that you're not going to get the physiological punishment that you get from pure sugar or wheat or whatever it might be. Having said that, you're probably always going to overeat these foods as well. So if you want to lose weight, it's probably a really good idea to not do that too often.
Right.
So I would treat them just the way that I treat other foods. Like if I would like to have that once every 2 months or whatever, I don't think it's a huge problem. But people are chasing these and want to have them every week because pizza is so good and that's so good. And then all of a sudden we're just sitting there and gorging better foods, possibly, depending on what they're actually made from. But yeah, still eating our guts out.
Yeah, eating their guts out.
Yeah.
So permaculture, my parents cut out some junk and have made better food choices for the last month. Not perfect, but better.
Oh
My
my
stepdad is
God.
down 35 pounds in a little over a month. Damn, that's a lot of weight in a month.
That's amazing.
That's I mean, that's really, really good. I don't like the rapid weight loss, but that's really good.
Depends on how much weight he has to lose,
Yeah.
I suppose.
What's up, baddest cat? I don't know. What's going on? And then Mike says, it's like trying to abstain from vodka, but drinking beer regularly. Yeah, 100%.
Mhm.
So
Yep.
I know there's a couple people in the chat who could benefit from this information. So I figure we can talk a little bit about um, what causes the cravings, and then we can get into my talking a little bit about my 30-day experiment that I'm about halfway through now.
Yes.
But what
Halfway. You must be full way through now.
I'm ready to go. But yeah, why don't you lead it off, because we both have similar training and backgrounds in this, but we approach it differently. So
Mhm.
um from your perspective and your experience, um what what causes the cravings from the emotional side? And then, because I know you are big on promoting food freedom, so and then we can lead into, in your opinion, what food freedom is and how you achieved it.
Okay, so do you want me to talk about it from like the emotional perspective or actually what a craving is, like evolutionary, I suppose?
Yeah, you
Where
can
you want
talk
to
about
start?
the craving, and I can hit a little bit on the physiological side, but yeah, if you wanna dig it more into cravings, that'll be awesome because you probably know more about that aspect than I do.
Okay. So cravings are just they are signals for us to seek something out. Like that's normal, that's an evolutionary advantage because if we didn't have a craving at all, we wouldn't be motivated to get food. And it's very correlated or connected to dopamine. So dopamine is also the thing that you need to be motivated to do anything. If you take, like they take in lab mice, for example, they remove any sort of dopamine response in these mice and they just starve to death because they're not interested in doing anything. They're just like blah, and they die. So that's why when you the first time you taste something, let's say ice cream, you probably seen these little reels on Instagram or whatever, kids that taste like sugar or ice cream or something for the first time, and their eyes just pop open. They're
Oh,
like, "Oh,
yeah.
this is amazing!" And you can just see like the whole response because this is just lighting their brain up so much straight away, and they have a huge dopamine response. So that it's supposed to be working that way. It's just that ice cream does not grow out in nature. Like we would never encounter anything that would affect us as much as ice cream or any processed food does, including freaking pizzas, even if the carnivore pizzas. that that is still a sort of processed food, and it's you could in theory be somewhat addicted to it, but I think it's hard to overeat that much protein. You can overeat it, but to a point, not the way that you can do with carbs. It's like just continue and continue,
Yeah.
continue. Anyhow, it's a natural response. You're meant to have it. We don't want to get rid of that response because you're meant to have it for normal foods and you're meant to be appreciative of the foods that are giving you the most nutrients, the most energy that will favor your survival. So that's why we have cravings. Now, as I said, the problem is that we are reacting to foods that aren't natural, that shouldn't be in our environment, that just give us an over what's it called, overstimulation, so you release a lot more dopamine and you get a much more strong response, and that's why the baby's eyes are popping out because they're like, oh my god, what is this? This is heaven. And that's literally what is happening. So the thing is that your body doesn't like that because you don't need such a strong signal. If you needed such a strong signal, you would already have evolved to have such a strong signal to things like meat and nuts and berries and whatever, and we don't. So it's going to downregulate the receptors because it's just too much to take care of all of that. And it costs energy to produce all these neurotransmitters and transform the signal, etc. So it will start downregulating the receptors. So you won't feel the dopamine as much. You're still going to get an over release of dopamine when you're eating ice cream, for example. And the problem then is that you're not going to appreciate the ice cream as much. And that also goes for other foods. So if you liked meat before, but you didn't go over the top with it, now meat is going to be bland because the dopamine release you get from meat and the response that you're getting in your body is going to be so much less. Or it's not actually less, you just perceive it as less because you have less receptors. So this is a problem. Now you just want to eat all the processed foods to actually feel any type of satisfaction from what you're eating. So that's kind of how addiction develops. And obviously, you're only going to crave things that you are going to make you feel good. Now, if we take it from the emotional perspective and couple that with emotional eating, because I think most people, some people have both. They have an emotional issue and they then develop an addiction. But if we're looking at it from an emotional perspective, it's like our society, we are taught if you fall and scrape your knee as a kid, oh, poor you, here, have an ice cream. Like we solve everything with food.
Yeah.
If you said, look it up, what should I do if I feel depressed? Yeah, sit and eat a bloody ice cream on the sofa and watch Netflix. It's just like completely clock out from reality and numb yourself with ice cream and Netflix because then we don't have to deal with it. Our society does not encourage you to deal with emotions. It encourages you to get rid of them because when you are depressed or when you are angry or when you express any emotions in um, in excess, people get really uncomfortable. So it's like, oh, can you please stop doing that?
Yeah.
Yeah, have a Snickers. If you're hungry, have a Snickers. Like we play on that in the commercials and everything. So it's it's our go-to response to dealing with emotions. So that's why that is such a big part of how I help people get out of addiction is to just learn how to be okay with having emotions. Because if you can be okay with having those emotions, you don't need to eat as a response to that. Now, the addiction might be a second part that we also need to deal with. But if you can just be okay with having those emotions, then you can actually open up for like a different response and for you to start building a new neural pathway. So I don't know what else to say about that, but I think everyone pretty much is using food as an escape from emotions at different times. It's just a matter of how often you do it. For me, I never thought I was an emotional eater because in my head, emotional eating was people that were stressed and they went home to eat, or they were upset and they went home to eat. That was kind of my idea of emotional eating. But for me, it's always been procrastination and when I'm bored. And I'm always bored unless I'm doing something.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of eating. And it's just me going back and forth to the fridge all the time. And if I was at my mom's house, I used to do that as well. And it used to drive her crazy. She was like, for goodness sake, can you stop looking in the fridge? There's nothing new in there. But I'm hungry. I wasn't hungry. I was just bored.
That's
So,
funny.
yeah, I'm not sure she thought so. But anyway, that was a
Um,
long introduction or whatever you want to call it.
no, that's good because yeah, you were able to talk more about the specific like the reasons for the crave or the history behind the cravings and more in depth about the addiction side. So for me, I was trying to share my screen, but I guess I can't because it's not a tab. But there are some questions you can ask, and I know I just did a quick video on this, but the emotional eating side cycle goes a little something like this. Like I said, I tried to put this on the screen, but stupid StreamYard wouldn't let me. But something happens that upsets you. You feel an overwhelming urge to eat. You eat more than you know you should. You feel guilty and powerless over food. Something happens that upsets you, and on and on and on and on and on. But yeah, there's like six basic emotions because I know Pim, kept talking about emotions. A lot of people intertwine feelings and emotions, but feelings just give meaning to the emotions, like they give the emotions the definition, right? The six basic emotions. Pim, please tell me if I forget one because I'll likely forget one. But you have
You
like,
assume that I know the six ones.
yeah, you do, you got this. But yeah, you have like,
I'm glad it's
um,
not a quiz.
it's a test on emotional intelligence. You have happiness, sadness, of course, fear, surprise, anxiety, and I always forget one,
Anger?
and anger. Woo. Those are the 6, right? And the feelings, um, are what give the emotions the meaning. Um, but some basic questions just to ask yourself, that I like to say are things like, "Do I turn to food when I'm stressed, anxious, bored, or upset? Am I eating even when I'm not physically hungry?" And there are 2 different types of hungers. Do I find it difficult to stop eating once I start, even if I'm full? Do I have specific cravings for certain foods? And do I feel guilty or ashamed after eating? So physical hunger is true hunger, right? It happens gradually over time, often hours after you ate your last meal. You crave a variety of foods and you don't feel guilty or shame after eating. It's just normal, natural. Emotional hunger is different. Happens suddenly or abruptly. You crave specific foods, usually sugary, salty, fatty. And when I'm talking fatty, I'm talking the not good fats, like the trans fats, all that crap. I'm not talking the steaks and stuff for the most part, like the oils and all that stuff. And you feel guilty or shame after eating. So those are the 2 basic hungers that you hear me narking on Abby Sharp about, my favorite dietitian. But So so when you do have some sort of emotion or something that happened to you, for instance, my brother died when I was 11, and I never grieved. I just turned to food, because when you have something like that happen, whatever that looks like in your life, it kicks you into the sympathetic nervous system. Your body, your physiology responds the same way, regardless of the emotion, regardless if you're happy or sad or whatever. Your body responds the same way. So your body's not like, I'm happy, nope, I have no cravings. Like, think about it, you celebrate with food and drink, and when you're sad or depressed, food and drink. It's the same response. But essentially your adrenaline, your epinephrine, is released into your bloodstream. Your cortisol is spiked, your blood sugar spiked, which of course promotes the insulin response and all that stuff. That's why if you're always chronically stressed, it's really hard for you to lose weight. Your glycogen stores, fat stores, release into your bloodstream to give you the instant energy to neutralize the threat your body perceives it to be under. And that's what triggers the cravings. That's what triggers your appetite controlling hormones, that cascading hormonal and neurotransmitter response that happens quick. And then before you know it, now you're, half a bag deep in potato chips, but your hunger hormones are elevated, and I call your fuel gauge is decreased. So your perception of fullness is off. So that's likely why you can feel like a bottomless pit and never have the feeling of fullness. And then once that response ends, then you're just like, holy shit, what just happened? And then you feel like garbage. And then you feel the guilty and shame once you realize what you just did. But that's all what's happening internally. And you can minimize that response a little bit by obviously dietary changes, but you can't necessarily control what happens internally, but you can control your behaviors. And that's where the coaching and the education comes in to help give you the tools to be able to better control your urges, because you're going to have to go against everything your brain is telling you to do, which is to eat sugary and salty foods. So with that being said, Pim, what is your, because I have a three-step like system I kind of walk my clients through to kind of give them action items that they can do. And I actually just had a client call yesterday, and she actually just started implementing it, not only for her eating but for her actual stress work life. And she said it's been helping. So do you have something in place to that you can, briefly talk about, that you kind of give your clients to kind of work through, like actionable things to kind of do, like tools?
Sure. But before that, I wanted to add a couple of things to what you were saying. So you were saying that when you have cravings rather than hunger, you crave specific things. I just want to say that that is not necessarily easy to recognize. I know exactly what you're saying, but for me, I often have non-specific cravings. Like I just want to go out and I want to look. But if I'm looking at a steak, I'm like, I don't want that. So it's like I'm craving something else. I don't necessarily know what that is. It's not like I'm craving ice cream or chocolate or anything. But if I'm looking at the actual foods, real foods, that's usually not what I want. So it's not like I'm craving and then I can go out and eat a steak. Sometimes I can actually go out and actually eat eggs. I don't know why. I just like eggs
Interesting.
as
Yeah,
the
I
first
craved the sweets. I craved all the chocolate. Like most,
thing.
it's more common to crave the sugary and the sweet type
Yeah.
foods, but
Oh,
that's not
yes.
to say that's for everyone. Kind of like more people feel hungrier than they normal would, but other people, um, their hunger actually gets suppressed when they're super stressed. So, I mean, there is
Yeah.
a level of individuality, but that's like just the most common responses to cravings and what happens. But yeah, some people get their hunger suppressed. Some people, I never heard of anyone until I met you who doesn't
Mm.
crave, the sugary and salty foods. But yeah,
Oh, I
that's I,
probably do, but it's
yeah,
not like I have an idea of what specific food it is. It's
gotcha.
more of an urge to go out into the kitchen and check all the cupboards in the fridge and, to
Just eat
see
something.
is that thing that I'm craving in there somewhere. But if I'm looking at steak, chicken, whatever it might be, a protein source, I'm always like, no, that's not what I want. So that could be like the determinant if you're unsure about if you're hungry or if you have a craving. Like, do you want the protein? If the answer is no, it's probably a craving.
Yeah.
And the second thing you mentioned, I just wanted to add that I have a word for it. I have like true hunger and carb hunger. Carb hunger is when you've been eating a lot of carbs and it's messing with your hormones and your insulin and your blood sugar, and you just like feel like the bottomless pit that you mentioned. So I just call that a carb hunger. And that's why I recommend, or why I've chosen to work with people who are low carb, because it's so much easier to do this if you're not having that false hunger all the time.
Yeah.
So just if you still have a lot of carbs in your diet and you're struggling with this, maybe you want to cut it out to make it easy for yourself. Now I can answer your question. So you said you you had a three-step system. So I suppose I have a three-step system as well, and I don't know, maybe it's kind of similar to yours, because I don't know what
Ooh.
yours is. So I don't know, but we're looking at the habit loop, which is actually more than three steps in my habit loop anyway, because I have an extra step compared to everyone else. So the first thing is like you need to know, or it's very handy if you know what is triggering you. You don't actually need to know that, but we always have triggers. So first, just be aware of what your triggers are, and that when you're being triggered by something, so that could be going to the supermarket or seeing someone eat or smelling something or just the time of the day when you're always snacking, whatever it might be. For me, it used to be like after dinner, after I've eaten food, I should have something else. That then I always crave it. And the thing is that you always have a thought after that. So if you can identify those thoughts, that's even more important. If you can identify those thoughts, because the thoughts are what's actually going to trigger your cravings or your urges to eat. So let's say it's usually very simple. For me, it might be, I want chocolate. And I don't necessarily know what the trigger is because I still get that thought. But now it's like, that's not even true. I don't want chocolate. I don't feel for chocolate at all. But it still offers it up. And in the past, I would have been like, oh, yes, I definitely want chocolate. And then that would have got me going, looking for chocolate or going to the supermarket to get some or whatever. So you identify those two. Third one is a craving is an emotion. You will feel that as a physical response in your body somewhere. And if you can be okay with just feeling that, because it's not usually really uncomfortable. I have had some clients, they get a very strange, in my opinion, strange response, like a whole body response. Their blood pressure goes up. It's like someone's like taking over the body and injecting some hormones or something. It's really like this whole freaking thing going on, which is very fascinating to me. That might be really uncomfortable, but for me, I just like salivate. I got a bit of tension here, and it's kind of buzzing in my stomach, and that's all it is. And if I can just be okay with feeling that way, I don't need to go and eat. And the last step is obviously to choose to not eat rather than choosing to go with it and eat. So that's kind of the habit loop, which you can look up on YouTube. They just omit the thoughts, that the thoughts are in there, but you can add that yourself. And just make sure you can change this on two levels, and I do both with my clients, but the most important one is that you learn to feel cravings and be okay with having cravings, because that's your fail safe. The other one that takes a little bit longer is to change those food thoughts when you're having that, oh my god, I can't live without ice cream. Like, is that really true? Like, you can work on the mindset there and start changing the thoughts that you're having about the food, which will then mean that you have less cravings over time as well. So you can intervene at different time points in the habit loop. Now I want to hear about your system.
Yeah, no, it's definitely similar. So I have a four-pronged approach. This isn't my three action steps, but what in my coaching, like holistically, I focus on mindset, emotion, nutrition, and movement. I think they all work synergistically. But yeah, my three steps are actually quite similar, just slightly um different in a way. So like I have stop, um, because we work on the triggers like through coaching, like the food log and all that stuff. Um, but stopping for me is like the most important, like when you have the triggers or when you have the urges to eat certain things or specific things. because stopping just gives your brain just that couple seconds to shift from, irrational, illogical brain to then logical and rational brain. And then once you are able to think clearly, then assess your hunger. Are you truly hungry or are you emotionally hungry? And of course, by this point, they understand the difference. So they're able to like stop, assess their hunger, and then take action. So like do something like you said that doesn't involve food, like go for a walk. I like to say keep a top 3 and keep it somewhere where you can see. Like for me, it's taking a walk, going to the gym, or reading. So whatever that looks like for the person, just do something like distraction, do something that doesn't involve food, to create a new habit. But those are my 3 kind of like actionable steps that I was happy to hear my client actually just started using it. And it's not only helped because I never thought about using it outside of food because it's just this is just the type of people I work with, but she actually started using it in her workplace because she's a medical biller or whatever. So she medical assistant, I think actually, and it's a very stressful job. And she said that whenever she would get stressed and frazzled, she said she just started using, she's like, stop, assess the situation. What is she really asking? Or what do I really have to do? And then take action. And she creates like a top 3, like, these are my tasks to get this actionable item done. So I never actually thought of someone using it like outside of that, but yeah, I guess it could be applicable in any situation. But yeah, it apparently helps with emotional eating, but it also helps in other aspects of your life too, like when it comes to like stress management, which was pretty cool.
Yeah.
So
And I
similar.
think and I think yours is probably a really good thing to do if it is like the clients that you're working with. If you're not addicted, this is all you have to do, really. But if you have an addiction, I think you should probably add the emotional aspect because that is like accepting that you have those emotions so that you can sit with it because otherwise you're gonna have to go for many walks.
Yeah, I mean, over time, like I don't have to do any of that now because like I'm more in control. This is just, to get them more in control because when
Mm,
you're at that point, like food controls you. You are in zero control. So this leads into, I guess, eventually like the food freedom aspect, right? And just creating new habits and habit building um
yeah,
type thing. So yeah, this is just to get them started. So I use it with my clients when we're just starting. These are the action steps I
yeah,
kind of coach them through to get them started, and then we kind of just build from there.
yeah. And I think the stop is like exactly what I talked about.
Yeah,
If you just thrown it into one, the
right.
stop,
Yeah,
check your triggers, check your thoughts,
yeah,
and then assess what type of hunger is kind of like actually feeling.
right.
Same thing.
Yeah, that's why I said it's similar. It's just
Mm,
kind of structured a bit differently. But yeah, we were pretty
yeah,
much saying the same thing, just the approach is slightly different.
we must rock.
We do. We're like, that's why you're my wifey. Don't tell my husband.
I shall
Uh,
replay this for him. It's now
play this for
38
Bart.
minutes into the.
uh
Yeah, he's like, yeah, bring it on, 2 girls, that's fine.
I already told you once they outlaw meat here in the US, I'm moving to New Zealand.
All
We're gonna
right.
build a tiny home on your on your property.
Yeah, we just need to get a property first because we're renting this place.
Oh, yeah, we
Hold off. Let's continue with the meat in the US for a
you
bit.
need to get
Thank
on
you.
that.
Yeah, working on it.
So Ellie said she suffered with food addiction for practically her whole life. She remembers finding her fridge to be a place of refuge.
Yep,
Yeah, I think a lot
I
of people can
agree.
relate to that.
Hmm.
And then Mike said, I just went to Walmart aisles with candies everywhere. It's Halloween. You can't tell by my background, but it is Halloween month. um, what are we doing to the children? I tell you, I tell people to give out toothbrushes and toothpaste for Halloween.
That's gonna be popular.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like when you go into CVS or Walmart or whatever drugstore, You literally to get your prescriptions filled or to get any sort of, like, laundry detergent or anything, you literally have to walk through all the candies, all of the chips because they're all right up front. And all the good stuff is in the back, but yeah, you have to walk through and buy all that garbage just to get your medication, like, how bad is that?
That is pretty pretty bad, but that's how they make money.
Yeah, Ellie said Carnivore Kip just uploaded a video. He's struggling so bad with addiction. I actually recommended that he reach out to Pim and get into her challenge that has since ended, I think. But yeah, I reached out to him on Facebook Messenger and gave him Pim's contact info, but I don't think he did anything with it. So I
I
did see
think
that
so.
video. My heart broke for him. I did reach out to him, but yeah, he didn't. Unfortunately, he didn't take me up on my offer. My offer for him to reach out to Pim, because she had a program going on at the time that I thought he would have benefited from. Unfortunately, he didn't follow through with that, so I'm not sure where he is now, with his, journey. I haven't seen any of his more recent videos. I tried Pim.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm just looking it up now. I'm not familiar with him.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Okay. I might
Ellie
reach
says they're
out to
giving
him.
out Pokemon cards. Hey, the kids like that stuff, so you might get repeat customers next year. I was gonna hand out toothbrushes and toothpaste. Mike says Kip is struggling, but he is not even on Triple B and E. I root for him, but the carnivore treats ain't helping either. Yeah, I don't watch a lot of his videos, honestly. I try to keep up. There's just a lot of channels and a lot to keep up with. I know he tried to do the what was it? The land and sea thing. Ah! The land and sea thing, the sea lion diet, sea lion challenge. And then he kind of went on a binge, a 4-day binge, and then came up with that video that he literally had me in tears because I related to him. Like I struggled with that. Not to the level he is, but in some aspects I struggled with that. So my heart literally broke for him because I know exactly what he's going through and how he feels. Um, so I don't I see he's putting out videos where it seems like he's in a better spot. I'm not sure. I haven't seen his recent chunk of videos, but yeah, it's unfortunate. He didn't take me up on my offer to put him in touch with Pim. Um, of course I would have reached out to Pim and got her permission first, but I seriously think he could have benefited from that at the time. But yeah, so Pim, I know you had some questions for me that you were excited about.
Yes. Okay. So Nicole is doing an experiment that I'm not allowed to ask her how it goes.
No, you
But
can,
I
you can,
want.
it's fine.
Okay. But I wanted to ask you, like, do you want to get into a little bit about why you're doing this experiment? This is experiment with carbs. Why you chose to do that, and what you're kind of hoping to get out of it or figure out. And if
Um,
you want to share any results, feel free
yes.
to do that. Of course.
So, yeah, so I mentioned earlier, I'm, like, looking up the carby thing, so when I mentioned females before about struggling with energy levels, sleep, I've always had crappy sleep, but sleep, um, energy levels, and um, weight loss dolls, all that good stuff. Um, I started looking at because I was pretty damn close to 0. I was less than 20, at until recent. I was fairly primarily just triple B and E with maybe berries here and there, which are, negligible, as far as carbs go. So, I was struggling with those things, and I was like, "Well, I'm pretty damn close to 0. I've been doing this since the beginning of the year." I was like, "Let me do some research on women's hormones. And this isn't my area of expertise by any stretch of the imagination. Like, I'm not a hormone specialist or any of that, but I do know that from the conversations I've had and um what I've been reading and hearing is that a lot of women don't do as well as men when it comes to weight loss and energy levels and all that following a extremely low carb diet, because I think anything under 20 grams is extremely low. Like the higher end of low carb is like 100 or 150 grams, which I never, advise going that high. But I know a lot of women who are carnivore, like zero or pretty close to zero. I've been seeing a lot in my chat and my comments and people reaching out to me about weight loss stalls, energy, and sleep. Those three things specifically. So I'm like, let me look into this because I'm experiencing the same thing. So I came across Dr. Minnie Peltz. I just did a YouTube search, carbs and female hormones, and I saw Dr. Minnie Peltz and a couple other female doctors, and then I just consulted Dr. Google. Now, I still need to do more digging on this because I don't fully understand the inner workings, but on my cursory research, minimal research, but cursory, um, Dr. Minnie Peltz and other things, in other areas talked about women's hormones, specifically sex hormones. So this is specifically if you're perimenopause, menopause, or even postmenopause. So like, mid 40 range ish and older, and that age range, because we have more fluctuations in our hormones, like estrogen. We're starting to lose estrogen. Like our sex hormones are more affected the closer you get to menopause. And then we have, our 27, 28-day cycle. So what they have said, Dr. Minnie Peltz and others, is that including a little bit of carbs, and I'm talking like carb cycling. So the first 2 weeks of your cycle, to increase your carbs a little bit, and then the last 2 weeks, decrease your carbs back down. And I'm not talking a lot. Like I don't go over 50, so I'm still like keto, but to carb cycle, because what that'll do supposedly, and this is what I'm testing on myself, is it'll help with your estrogen levels and your progesterone levels. The carbs itself will help with your sex hormones, which are the hormones largely affected. It also will help with your serotonin levels, which affect your mood and all that. So that's what the reasoning is behind that, is just adding a little bit more carbs based on your cycle to have a more help with your sex hormonal balance and regulation based around your cycle. And then also based on the stage of life. And I'm talking, like I said, the perimenopause, menopausal age, because that's where your sex hormones are more so affected um, than younger. So that's kind of what I'm testing so far. And I will say about 2.5 weeks in, I do so far feel a difference. I am sleeping better and I do have more sustained. I do have better energy levels. I am losing weight again. So I just feel better, but I'm not going crazy on the carbs. I'm not doing all that. I'm not saying go crazy, go to town, but just increase a little bit. But for me, so far, it's been working. I need to do more deep dive research on that stuff, but that's just what I've found cursory on everything I've read and the YouTube videos I've seen. Everything seems to be saying the same thing. So that's why I decided to give it a shot.
So what type of carbs are you eating and how much?
Oh, okay, that was a question. How much
It was a question.
Um, so I've always been eating berries, avocado, and cashews, as everyone who follows me knows. I'm pretty open about that. I've never claimed to be carnivore. I did go zero to elimination, but those are the carbs I've added back in consistently. So what I've added back in since is glyphosate-free oatmeal, which is 14 grams of carbs, which is half of what Quaker Oats and all that other crap is. Quaker oats jacks my stomach. I tried that months ago, just for shits and giggles because I still had the whole big thing from last year. I was like, well, let me give this a shot. That was not, no, that was terrible. But the oatmeal I found, I did research on brands that are glyphosate free. And one of the brands is the only brand they have at my grocery store. So I gave that a shot. And it's the low carb oatmeal. Like I said, it's the half of the carbs that regular oatmeal has, and it doesn't have the glyphosate or any of that other crap. So that doesn't affect my stomach at all. So that's really the
Interesting.
only thing I've added outside of the minimal carbs that I already have. So yeah, so that's pretty much it. I haven't decided if I want to add like half a serving of white rice. I know you said you do the rice every once in a blue moon. I haven't decided about that, but the oatmeal is pretty much the only thing I've truly added back in, and I only have that, like, maybe a couple times a week. I don't even have that every day.
How do you eat your oats? How
What do
do
you
you
mean?
prepare them? How do you prepare them?
Oh, just water. Sometimes I'll put a little bit of whey protein powder in there, but yeah, just
Well,
water, then put it put it in the microwave for a minute, that's it.
I'm just asking because I had this discussion with Bart. Was it yesterday or it was the day before when I had a bit of a headache? And I was like, there are some oats in the cupboard. I'm like, I kind of like the taste of oats, but I hate porridge.
I
And
don't even know
I'm
what
like,
porridge is. What's porridge?
pretty much you heat it up in hot water and it tastes like glue. It's horrible. Anyhow, and I came to the conclusion that I only like oats when it's paired with sugar and fat. So I'm probably not going to do any oats.
Oh.
So that's why I was asking, like, how do you prepare them if you just want the
Sometimes I'll
carbs
put,
from the
like,
oats?
whey protein powder, like, half a scoop of whey protein powder in there,
Hmm.
and that's it. Because that's, like, minimal carbs, like, total if you're talking, because those are my carbs for the day. So if you're
Yeah.
talking the oatmeal and I use, like, half a scoop of protein powder, you're talking both of them together is probably, like, 30 grams total. Um, but yeah, sometimes I'll add protein powder, but yeah, it's I don't need I don't need to add anything special to it. I'll put blueberries in there, but that's pretty much it.
Okay. I don't do protein powder either, so
What about berries? You don't do berries either, huh?
I do blueberries sometimes. But the problem with berries is that they're so low carb that I would have to eat a shit ton of them to get enough carbs to cure a headache.
So, why did you think about, adding oatmeal back in?
Oh, because I don't like rice.
So why do you have rice? So why do you have, rice? I know we talked about this before, but I forget.
Um, it's it seems to be the only way for me to get rid of the headaches or migraines when they start occurring, and I have headaches otherwise as well, but not as often nowadays. But when I get a headache that is like right on top of my head, I know that it's the one that I can cure with some carbs. And I could get some sweet potatoes because I like them, but they do a number on my blood sugar. Like my blood sugar goes through the roof if I'm having sweet potatoes, and
Even a
rice
half a
doesn't have
sweet
that.
potato?
Yeah,
Yeah. I think
I
your blood
think
sugar going through the roof isn't bad as long as you're not, like, doing this, like, all day long. If it just
yeah.
happens, like,
Well,
once.
no, it's not so bad that it's doing that, but then we get the carb hunger after that, and I'm kind of off whack for a day or so with my
Oh,
appetite. Whereas if I eat rice, it's like I can be a little bit more hungry the next day, but it's not as noticeable.
that's the same with me and oats because that's a lesser of the evils, and like I said, I found a good brand. I did my research on oats before I try to reintroduce them back in. But I do feel, a difference,
Mhm.
so far positively, and I did a video with Jonathan. I don't know if he's still in the chat. There's a controversial part 2. It's in part 2. Part 1's releasing Saturday, part 2 is next week. It was on, what was it it was, Paul Saladino. He's a popular, um, topic of discussion in the
Mhm.
carnivore space, and
Forever.
right? But he is a smart man, like, people discount his information, like, he is a smart man, he does a lot of reading and stuff, so but I don't agree with the amount of carbs he eats like, obviously, like, 300 is kind of it's excessive, but
Yeah.
I don't disagree with adding carbs back in. I don't disagree with fruit. I don't disagree with honey. I disagree with the amount he's eating for sure. But, I did make a controversial comment in the video. I know. I talked about carbs. What?
Controversial carbs. What the
Yeah,
hell,
carbs
Nicole?
because I'm about to get shunned. But yeah, carbs
Yes,
because I don't think
and you caught in.
I don't I also said we didn't always just eat eat meat. We were like hyper carnivores or whatever Jonathan said. I was like, you have to I mean, we did eat carbs. Like you can't say we didn't. But yeah, I said carbs have an undeserved bad reputation. I'm like, choose the low carby carbs. Like don't eat the high fructose fruit. Like I stick to the berries. Like, carb choice matters, but I don't think
Yeah.
we have to demonize all carbs, and I don't think everyone has to go 0. I don't think people should be yelled at if you have a carb. Like, if I have oatmeal, I'm sure people are gonna attack me after this that I've had oatmeal because 'cause I've had people attack me over cashews, but, like, that I talked about that sort of stuff in our collab because it's like it's like it is what it is. I don't believe we have to be 0 carbs, and I don't believe women especially. I think we could possibly benefit from it, or at least if you are struggling in those areas that I mentioned earlier, it's worth exploring, but the types of carbs matter. Like, don't do 300. I think that you should all be under 100. I still think we all need to be low carb, but types of carbs
Mhm.
matter. But I don't think we have to like throw everything, in the garbage is all I'm saying. But yeah, it was more in depth, but that's the controversial stuff I talked about in the discussion. So he made me the devil with the pitchfork and he has a halo in the thumbnail. I'm
Of
like,
course.
"Yep, I'm ready."
Yeah, but if you actually think about it, like how we evolved, yeah, a lot of the vegetables, the fruits, etc., they were not as sweet as they are
Correct.
today.
Yeah.
So that's why that matters. Like you can't just go and eat a bunch of fruit and consume 150 grams of fructose and 150 grams of glucose every day and expect to have good health because no one would ever have evolved that way. But these
Exactly.
foods were available, like wild strawberries or whatever you call them. We have a different word for them
Yeah.
in Swedish. And wild apples are horrible. No one eats wild apples like this. They still ate them, but it would usually take them and boil them together with meat or something. So there would be some starch in there, but not the sweetness necessarily.
Oh, yeah.
And tubers have been around, but they were not necessarily as full of starch as today. So
Right.
when we're consuming these things today, it's like we're over consuming everything
Right.
because we would never have had this exposure to this degree before. It's just now that we have everything in excess, it just goes horribly wrong. So
Well, we eat
if you
meat
do stick
differently
to
too. Like, our meat
yeah,
is different too. Like, they
of
drain all the
course.
blood out, like, before it gets everything's different now, but yeah, all I'm saying is we are metabolically adaptable, and yeah, the types of carbs matter, but I think if you're at the point like, I'm at the point where I can control myself, I consider myself to
Hmm.
have food freedom. If you're at the point where you're not addicted to carbs and you can control yourself and you've healed all of the issues you went to 0 carb for, I personally see no problem in people adding back some carbs in. If you want to add some, glyphosate free oatmeal, live long and prosper. You know what I mean? That's pretty
Why do
much
you
all
have
I
all
was
these
saying.
bloody trolls on your channel spamming the chat? What's up with you? You're bringing them.
Probably. So Renee says, Pim, just notice Pim has a Halloween background. That'll teach you,
Mhm.
Nicole. You know what
Yeah.
I say to that, Renee? Oh wait, that and
I just so before I forget it, before you distract me away from what I was gonna say, I remember seeing this. I think it was a picture rather than a video. I think it was from the Maasai, obviously, but they have their goats and they don't kill them. They just drain them of blood every now and then because they want to consume the blood with the milk.
Mhm.
And they have this little tube coming out, and there's a kid like drinking the blood straight from the goat, and I was like, "Oh my god, that's horrible."
Right?
But like when you were saying that, we change how we eat meat as well. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, we would eat everything, and we
Yep.
would definitely take care of the blood, etc. Because hey, potassium, hey, electrolytes. Like,
Yeah.
if you're
Everything's different
complaining about
now.
your bloody balance of electrolytes, etc., maybe go and drink some blood.
I want to drink your blood. Oh, oh, oh.
Oh, shall we change theme again? It's
Oh, wait.
Dracula.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I can. I can.
Very good.
So, Twin Maples, Northern Neck. Seems I need to get my honey to listen to this one on the rerun. Oh, do it. And
Yeah.
then Ellie says, I didn't know carb cycling had to do with your menstrual cycle. Yeah, check out Dr. Mindy Peltz. If you do a YouTube search, Mindy Peltz and carb cycling. She does a really good job at explaining it. And Ellie said, I never looked into it because I'm carnivore. Very interesting. Yeah. I mean, if you feel optimal, and I mean, it just depends on how you feel. If you feel optimal and you don't have any issues with your energy or sleeping or whatever, then, maybe there's no need for you to look at it. Just for me, where I just wasn't feeling my best. I was feeling run down all the time, no matter how much sleep I got, no matter how much meat I ate. I just wasn't feeling my best. So that's why I toyed with it, and that's why I'm just doing my N=1 experiment on myself to see how it goes. But yeah, check out Dr. Mindy Peltz, carb cycling. Um, Pim says she didn't agree with everything Mindy Peltz had to
Hmm?
say.
Did I?
Yeah, when we were talking on IG.
Oh, yes, because she said eat beans and stuff, and I'm like,
Oh,
I'm not
yeah, I
sure
didn't agree
I
with that. I
agree
don't
with
eat
that.
beans, no.
But she's really good in general, but I wouldn't recommend anyone to eat beans necessarily.
No, I don't eat beans. No, that's
So it was
gross.
more the food choice she mentioned, because I was like,
Yeah,
"You're not eating beans, are
yeah,
you?" When
the
you told
food
me.
the food choices, yeah, the food choices, I
Yeah,
don't agree 100% of the food choices, but her content, like her
yeah,
explanation
yeah.
on why, because I know tryptophan affects your serotonin levels, and that's an
Mm,
amino acid and all that, but yeah, I know, certain things, but I never thought about carb cycling, like, around your cycle, like, cycling your carbs around your cycle. That was just an interesting concept to me, and she does a really good job on explaining the concept and explaining why and
yeah.
how things work. But yeah, like Pim said, there are some suspect food choices she mentions as an example. I don't follow that because I think she mentioned sweet potato and that stuff too.
Yeah, and I don't think it's necessarily anything bad. It's just, and I grow them, so whenever I'm gonna harvest, I'm gonna eat them. But
The sweet
I don't eat
potatoes?
them. Yeah, I just don't. I'm just not gonna eat them as my regular go-to carb
Right,
source, because rice is actually better for my physiology. It's
right.
as simple as that.
I tried a half a sweet potato yesterday. I didn't eat the whole thing because that thing was ginormous, but
Hmm.
I ate half and I felt fine afterwards. I didn't feel any adverse way, but I don't think I would ever try to eat a whole one in one sitting just because I know that's a lot of sugar. I know it's just a lot. So I was like, let me just eat half and see what happens. And so far I feel fine. I don't feel like sick or anything today, but yeah,
Yeah,
I don't know how I would have felt if I went to town on the whole on the whole thing.
no, it's just that I wake up and I'm like, oh my god, I need breakfast. I just don't like it. Other than that, I don't feel bad in any way. It's just the
Yeah.
appetite and the hunger.
Yeah, it is a lot of sugar. That's the other reason I didn't wanna eat the whole thing.
And I
Renee
always
says
bake them, so if I
ah,
prepare them in another way, they would probably be better for my blood sugar. But I freaking love them baked, so
I
have
honestly
at it.
don't think if your blood sugar spikes just once like that after eating a meal is I mean, I think that's normal as long as it's not like peaks and valleys, like, all day,
No.
every day, like, that one area spike, forget about it.
Oh, get on with the comments now, because I want to
Oh,
ask something. Chup, chup.
okay. Renee says, "I started having hot flashes in the early 30s." Dang. Holy cow.
That's rough.
Yeah. Is that diet not working? No? What diet?
Not sure, but
Roses are red. I live in Milan. I ran out of
I
TP, so I used the Corel. What?
I think that was one of the trolls.
You don't have OCD? All right, let me. How do I? How do I block them? Hold on. I'm putting you in timeout, Mr. Doom. Bye. Hey, Susan. Hi, guys. Just waiting for the last 10 minutes at work. I've been doing the sardine challenge bleh, and failed last night as I ate ham. Aw. I'd only had 1 can of sardines left. Hungry after choir. Aw. That's okay. You're not a failure. I don't like that word anyway when it comes to diet and stuff like that. You're not a failure.
Fuck eating sardines every day.
Troll's gonna
Jesus.
troll. Doubt they have a clue. Oh, I thought I put him in timeout. Why is he still here? Hold on.
Well, there
Lock
are different
user
ones.
and delete comment. There you go. Bye. Bye, troll. Sean, are you not in the chat anymore? Where are you at, dude? Oh, do we got another one? Come on, man.
Mm-hmm. Doomhead Infinite.
Where's Sean? Sean's my mod. Usually he's on top of all that. Sean, where are you at? Sorry, wasn't paying attention. You think? uh, Zap that troll, please. I got it.
God, you're behind on the chat.
All right. I'm trying to see. Most of the fruit we have today is super high in sugar compared to, oh yeah, 100%. It's all genetically modified for sure.
But even the vegetables as well.
Yeah, they're all man-made. The crap that we're
Mhm.
eating today, it's all man-made stuff.
Yeah.
I don't think
Army of
you
doomsayers.
would go in like nature, like real nature where man hasn't, planted seeds. I don't think you'd find broccoli or cauliflower like in the rainforest or or anything like that.
But
I
you
don't
know
know.
that cabbage, broccoli, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, they're all coming from the same plant, which is like a mustard cruciferous thingy bingy. It looks like it's just a stalk with a little thing on, and they modified it so that it turns into all of these 4 different fucking things that we eat. It's
Did you just say
insane. I don't know
fucking
how they've
things?
done that.
We're
Yeah.
sorry, YouTube.
I'm Swedish. I cannot speak without swearing. You know
I
this.
have to stop swearing because I have like 2 videos that are limited monetization because I keep saying shit. I was like, "Since when is shit bad?"
Shit.
Yeah, they
Fuck
changed their
used to be
swear
okay.
they
The
no,
C
they
word, on
changed
the other
they
hand.
tightened down
Mm.
their swearing policies. Now I have to say, "Oh, shucks." Oh, crud.
Fuck it. I'm sorry, Nicole.
Fuck it,
I
shit.
messed up history.
Former fat girl, can you put the name Dr. Mindy Peltz? Okay, yeah.
I
I
did.
have the video. I sent it to Pim. I can put the video in the chat too if you want to go to the video specifically because I think I sent it to you, Pim, so I can just
You
look.
did. Yeah. Do you want me to find it? But if I'm posting
Nope,
it,
I
it will
got it
only be
here.
on my YouTube. So
I got it here. I don't know if this is yeah, that should be it. Um I
there
blocked
you go.
Doom, can't imagine to delete messages. Damn, you blocked him and he was still trolling? Okay, I'm caught up.
No,
Hey, hey,
you're
what's going
not.
on, buddies? We
Oi.
need to collab.
No, 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 no.
Respond to my IG DM.
The comment after my comment saying pals.
This one?
Right after that one.
Right after?
Mhm. Yes. So, fuck. Where did it go?
I don't see another one.
No, above. One, two, two above my previous comment. So 3 above that one. Yes. There. I want the recipes. That's what I want to say.
Blood pudding. Oh, is that
Yeah.
what we looked at before and it was freaking nasty?
They usually have some rye or something in this. If you have a blood pudding recipe that is really good, that is not full of bloody, what's it called?
That's
Rye
black
or
pudding.
yeah,
Where's
pretty much. I loved it as a kid. I used to eat it all the time in Sweden.
Wait,
So
this
I,
cannot be this cannot be blood pudding. No way. I'm gonna share the screen. You tell me, because if this is blood pudding, no.
That's a very specific taste, and black pudding is very similar.
What is
Ew,
this? What
that
is
looks like liver. I don't like liver. Get away from me.
that's what popped up when I said blood pudding.
Nah, that's some different blood pudding.
All right,
I
well,
think they put lots of spices in, rye, blood, probably pork fat or something like that. It's
No.
really good.
Damn it, he's back? Who is this Doomhead person? Sean, are you on it? Sean, what's happening? Hey, Keto Simple's in the house. Let me see, hold on. Merry Christmas. All right. I think Sean. Oh no, he's in yours. He's in your chat now.
Who is it?
Yours,
Oh,
yeah, he's in your chat.
Jesus.
I can't
He
block
found
him.
me. Okay, I can block him now.
Sorry, we're getting spammed over here.
Sorry, Doomhead, you're a fuckhead. So I can say fuck again.
Oh my
Hide
goodness.
user on this channel. I think I've
We're
done
over here
more.
trying to have a serious conversation and we're getting spammed by trolls.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
what was the
you put him onto my channel.
You have your channel
Not...
down here. It says Pim. It has your channel here.
Yeah, but he would never have known about my channel if he hadn't found
You're
yours
blaming
first.
me?
Yes.
How rude. Wait.
Wait.
Okay, so what was your question you had to ask? Just block them. Yeah, I blocked them off my chat, but then the dude ended
If
up
I
in
must.
Pim's chat.
So do a Google search, Swedish blood pudding.
Oh.
You'll see what it looks like. Oh.
Ugh.
Anyhow,
Ew.
I still want the recipe if it's good.
Ugh. Okay, hold on.
It's delicious.
All right, here we go. All right, people, be ready to be wowed.
It's a little bit different than black pudding
Is
because it's
that
kind of,
it?
yeah, it's kind of smooth
What
rather
the
than
hell
having
is
all of these
that?
rough bits. It's a blood pudding. And you slice it and then you fry it. And unfortunately, I used to eat it with jam, but you can eat it with bacon. It works really well.
Ew. I mean, it looks like ugh. I don't even know what it looks like.
Yeah, Scottish or UK blood pudding. I think the only thing I found, it tastes similar in the UK, but don't you call it black pudding there as well? But there, it's more grain, like there are bits of things in there, whereas the Swedish version is kind of smooth.
That's nasty. I
It
forgot to
really isn't. You should
I
try
forgot
it.
it looks nasty. So Michelle, she's don't bleh.
Yeah, but liver is blah. I don't like liver either.
I didn't welcome Dustin in the chat the right way. So Dustin, Merry Christmas, Dustin. Merry Christmas. Okay, I got it out of my system. What was your you said you had to ask a question. Oh, he's back. He's in your chat, Pim.
Really?
He created another.
Oh no, I put him in timeout. I don't want to put him. I want to hide him. Go away forever.
Dustin
Yeah.
said, "Oh, he created another account."
Of course.
Dustin said, "Yeah, the English version has oats, right?" So wait, what's yours? What's the Swedish version made of?
I think it's. I think they actually put just flour in, but it might be rye flour. I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah, I don't know.
I can look it up.
Salty licorice? Huh?
Well, yeah, I used to love licorice.
Oh, it's generally made of pork blood, usually
Hmm.
grilled or fried and served with lingon berries.
Yeah,
Uh,
lingonberry jam, which I don't like, so I used to
what is that?
obviously have some. They're horrible little tart red berries. That's why I didn't like them because they're not sweet; they're tart. I just like sweet shit.
I just like sweet shit.
Hmm.
That's funny. Um, but you said you had a question you wanted to ask after we caught up on the chat.
Yeah, I wanted the recipe because that person said they had several recipes, and I still haven't seen a recipe in the chat. Give me the
Gotcha.
recipe. Although I don't. Yeah, I might be able to ask the butcher if they can source some blood for me, but it's not like in other countries that you can just go to the supermarket and you will have frozen blood or something. Doesn't seem to be a thing here.
Oh, do they not? Can you not go to the butcher?
Yeah, I could probably email them and ask.
So Chris and or Anna, I don't know which one or both. Uh, welcome, Merry Christmas, and and we still need to get a collab scheduled. I sent you my calendar link in IG DMs. More dates should have opened. It only lets you book 30 days out. But yeah, let me know if any of those days or times work for you, and let's get something scheduled. What's going on? Are we there yet? I missed what you were talking about eating last night, that you didn't eat the whole thing. I'm super late as usual. Yeah, we were talking about sweet potato, carbs, like rice, oatmeal, and sweet potato specifically. And Pim was mentioning that she grows sweet potatoes at home, and I tried sweet potato last night, but I only ate half of the sweet potato because I didn't want all that sugar. So yeah, I only had half of the sweet potato last night, and yeah, I felt fine last night. I felt fine this morning. No addictions, no cravings, no response whatsoever. So yeah, I don't think I
And you're
would ever
still
eat the whole
alive.
thing. What's that?
And you're still alive. You didn't die. You had some carbs.
I know. I didn't have a crash. I did 2 lives today. Yeah.
Have you got liver yet?
What's that?
Have you got fatty liver yet?
Probably, yeah, that and scurvy. Yeah, I have all the things. Yeah.
You get scurvy from sweet potatoes. I thought it would be the opposite.
You know? So so we have Christmas and we have Halloween going on. We're conflicted. I do have a Halloween background, but with a Christmas shirt, I wanted to stay with theme, but I like your background, Pin.
Hmm.
That's a better background.
I went to get it.
I mean,
I thought just for the occasion,
should I
come to this fucking Christmas shit. See how many times
Bah
I can say fuck
humbug.
you in this stream to get you banned.
Bah humbug.
Oh
Alright.
Jesus. Okay, no more Nicole. It's just web everywhere. You still have, yeah,
I
that's
know,
better.
hold on. Oh, I don't have my Christmas background downloaded. Alright, fine. There we go.
There you go.
And then we got
Yes, I feel like I don't have enough makeup on. I need to go and buy some makeup stuff and do some black and white shit in my face. You know, the way
I'm
people do those things.
we're doing a Halloween stream on Sunday next week, the 29th, and I bought me a onesie. It's Christmas
Oh
themed.
my god, Jesus! A Christmas themed Halloween onesie. Good.
That's right. Rib rage. I love that. If you're happy and you know it, show us your feet.
I just banned him on my channel. He started spamming, so he's another spammer.
Oh, rib rage was a spammer?
Yep.
Former fat girl. Has anyone tried the white rice trick, cooking, cooling, then reheating for less carb count? Pim.
Um, I have. It was a long time ago. I didn't do that anymore. But the thing is that I didn't even test my blood sugar when I did that. I just trusted the science and that it works because they have done studies on that to see that it becomes resistant starch. So if that's the case, you should absolutely have less of a blood sugar response. But then that would not probably help me with the issue that I'm trying to solve by eating rice, which is to actually consume the carbs.
Yeah.
So that would kind of go against everything that I'm trying to achieve. So I've tried it, but I can't tell you if it's working because I haven't tested. I just assume that it does.
Yeah. I mean, I think
Test
like
it
I
with your
said,
blood sugar.
yeah. And it's if you just have that one, that one spike, it's really not gonna hurt you. Where you get into the problem is the constant peaks and valleys throughout the day. So if you're just having rice as your only carb source, that one that one carb source, it should not, make a huge, affect you that greatly. Dustin says, "Halloween, we're going to Disney next week to spend Halloween there." Ooh, I love their parades in Disney. I'm assuming they still do the Halloween parade. That's always fun. Are you gonna see the Halloween parade? Stay for the Halloween parade? I think it's usually late at night, I think, but yeah, I used to love the Halloween parades there, at Disney. Twin Maples, any problems with coffee? It kicks my arthritis up. What do you think, Pim?
The first thing that comes to mind is that coffee has oxalates in it, so maybe. But also, coffee works on your adrenals, stress hormones, means probably more inflammation, or it could affect any current inflammation, ramp it up a little bit, and that could affect your arthritis if you're sensitive. So why don't you just cut it out? Would be my question. If you know that it affects you, then why not get rid of it?
Yeah, it's not true energy anyway. You're literally just running on adrenaline at that point. It stresses your body because it's a stimulant. So that could cause an inflammatory response. But yeah, I gave up caffeine for close to 30 days, just cut it out cold turkey. Um, and just because I wanted to see how a high fat diet truly affected me because, I was doing that with the caffeine and all that. But yeah, I did feel a lot better without it, and more sustained. Because like I said, coffee is not true energy. You're literally just running off of adrenaline with the coffee. Have you thought about cutting it out, Twin Maples? Let us know. No Family Dollar background, loser. All right, Sean. All
Loser.
right. That's mean, by the way, Sean. All right. I'll do this one. Coming at you. I don't know why I'm doing this.
Nope.
Family Dollar. All right. There we go. Am I in?
So is that like a cheap dollar store or what is it?
I don't know. I don't know. Here we are.
I have no idea what that is.
I don't know. It is a cheap dollar store. It's not a dollar anymore, actually. But is this better for you, Sean? Oh, Sean changed his YouTube channel, um, to much better, to Daddy Butter.
Excellent. I like
Uh,
it.
Permaculture Pagan Baby is nomming on some ground beef. Yum.
How do you nom on ground beef?
Nom 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 nom. I found a Christmas Story pink bunny onesie if you're interested. It's an adult large or extra large, not sure. Dang. Yeah, that onesie didn't pop up on my on my onesie search. I found a pretty good one though. So, will coffee stall a weight loss? Um, Not necessarily, no. I mean, it'll make you pee a lot, but not necessarily. Um, I think it depends on how much you're drinking too, because I mean, you are running on adrenaline. It is spiking your cortisol, your blood sugar, all that. It's just a stimulant. Um, so it just depends on how much you're drinking and how long you're under that, I guess, stimulant reaction. But what do you think, Pim?
I mean, a lot of people use coffee to boost the metabolism, but
Yeah.
paired with exercise because it helps shifting things like
Yeah.
getting the fat burning going, etc. And it gives you more energy, whatever. It doesn't
It's
give
a
me any
stimulant,
fucking
yeah.
energy. Haha, I
Yeah.
got this one. Anyhow, but if you're just drinking coffee and then you're being sedentary, it's just like all of these resources, like the glucose and the fat, is just going to float around for a while and then you're going to store it again. So in that case, it's probably not good for you. But if you're using it paired with exercise, it might actually help with weight loss,
Yeah.
potentially a tiny bit. I don't think you're gonna notice a huge difference, but maybe over time a little bit.
Well, Renee says I can go into Family Dollar and get some Spam steaks.
That sounds horrendous.
And then Sean says it's a cheap dollar store. It's pretty much.
What is an expensive dollar store then?
Nothing in the dollar store is a dollar anymore. It used to be 99 cents, um, or less. Now everything I think there's have things in there for like $5 or whatever, but it's cheap. They do have canned food. They do have food you can get in the dollar store. It's nasty.
Spam steaks.
Yeah.
I've never had spam, by the way. Just
Mhm.
I have the reaction to spam when I look at it that you had the blood pudding. Just let's just put it like that.
You said blood pudding? That's nasty. I'm sorry,
It
Sean.
really isn't.
The dollar store had to go. Family Dollar is super cheap stuff and kills local economies in small town America. So we've been at this for about an hour and a half, and I definitely want to be respectful of everyone's time. Um, Renee, wait, what? There it is, Daddy Butter.
Yay.
Butter Daddy is here. Hold on.
Sweet ass. I hate it.
I know. Wifey hates jazz. But welcome, Daddy Butter. Welcome to the chat. He put all right. I do have to show you this where Daddy Butter came from. Um, this had to do with Keto Palooza. So uh here we go. Call me Daddy Butter. All right, here we go. In Keto Palooza, there was this guy. He wore a shirt, and it was the four of us at the table, and none of us had our glasses. Couldn't read his shirt, so me and Kim, I think, thought his shirt said Daddy Butter. So every time I saw him, I really wanted to call him Daddy Butter. Thankfully, she stopped me every time, so I don't know what would have happened. But I'm changing my channel name to Daddy. I dare you. I dare you, Sean.
Mo Butter.
Mama didn't raise no boop.
He changed his name to Daddy Butter.
Wait, where? I just... So that's a story of Daddy Butter.
So what did it actually say on the shirt?
I think something Butler.
Okay, not quite, but I can't even find the channel. I'm looking for it.
Who, Sean's?
Hmm.
It's a carnivore trucker. His
Oh, so
Daddy
it's not
Butter one is
okay.
his gaming channel, I think. Let me
I
see.
see.
Yeah, I don't know, Sean. You can drop your Daddy Butter channel in the chat. Twin Maples love the carnivore world. I tell you what. What's up, Becky? Yeah, his name. What did his shirt said? It said something. Barry Butler was his actual name, but we couldn't read it, so we thought it said Daddy Butter.
Roger.
Can't. Oh, so Renee says clipping this part about coffee to show hubby. Can't wait to see him roll his eyes, run his hand through his hair, and say, "Jesus, Renee, you want me to give up everything?" Yeah, like Pim says, it's not bad. It's literally just a stimulant. It's not true energy. Your body's literally running on adrenaline. But that's why people lose weight because it's just a stimulant. It does rev up your metabolism, but it's temporary. It's not a permanent thing. Daddy
Yeah.
Butter is his gaming channel. Yeah.
Yeah, I still can't find it when I'm
I
searching
couldn't
for
find it
Daddy
either. But yeah, that was funny. But that's a story of Daddy Butter and Daddy Butter.
Butter.
So Pim, do you have any fun things coming up with your channel?
Yeah, maybe. So I have decided since I have results already, things to share with you, what I'm going to do rather than doing my regular podcast for most of you, if you're in America, every Sunday, I'm going to report about what's happening in my 8-week weight loss group and kind of give you some tidbits about my theories, what's happening, the results that people are getting. So I'm going to start that this Sunday. So that's going to be upcoming every 8 weeks. And I think that I might go back to doing a little bit more interviews if I can find some people. I love doing interviews. The problem with interviews is that it's so hard to get people booked in, and it's a lot of work to getting all that sorted. That's pretty much one of the big reasons why I gave up on it. So we'll see how that goes.
Well, plus a time difference is tough.
It's better now, on soon America and the rest of the other side of the world will have daylight savings, which moves me closer to most people. So that's better. America always works. It's worse with Europe, but when it's summer here and winter there, it's actually not too bad. It's during my winter that is rough.
Nice. Is there anything
Yeah, still haven't got your recipe. Blood pudding recipes. We want recipes.
we want recipes. We want recipes.
Do
I don't
you?
think I have a sound for that.
Are you gonna make it? If you get a recipe, are you gonna try it?
Me?
Mhm.
Oh, hell no. Blood pudding? Not the way that thing looked? No.
Hell
No.
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 Or you can send it to my email, and I don't think you can see it now, but when there are no comments up on the screen, I think my email's under
Oh,
my
wait,
name.
hold
So you
on.
can just email me the recipe if you don't want to put it there.
Yeah, there you go.
There
Yeah,
you
shoot
go.
shoot
Oh
her.
yeah, and also, if I may share, this 8-week weight loss group, it's already started with my first 5 guinea pigs. I'm starting another group on the 30th, I think. So if you have at least 20 pounds to lose and you're interested in taking part of that and you want a little bit more information about what that entails, etc., just send me an email on the same email that's on the screen. And I'm going to pick the group today. It's most likely going to be, we're going to meet every week, Mondays at 4 p.m. Eastern time. But you don't need to be there every single week. But if you can be there at least, some of the sessions, that would be good. So if you're interested in that and you feel like, oh, yeah, I need help losing weight, I've been stalled for a while, then you can just send me an email and I will let you know what you need to do and send you the information that you need. And we can get that sorted ASAP.
ASAP. Twin Maple said,
Nice.
I will send the video for the blood pudding recipe. Pigs being processed November 20th. Oh, poor piggies. I have 2 300-pounders in the backyard. Holy shit.
Nice. Thank you. One of these days, when I got my piece of land, before Nicole comes here, I'm going to have my own pigs as well. And then when she comes here, we're going to make blood pudding and she's going to taste it.
Nope. It looks
Yes.
nasty. I'm sure it tastes better than it looks, but I don't know what that looked like, but it did not look like no pudding.
It's called blood pudding.
So was there
It's not like the Yorkshire puddings or Yorkshire puddings.
What's a Yorkshire pudding?
Oh, then we did that before. The Yorkshire puddings that are not puddings.
Oh, is that the one? Okay, so Aggravator
The
said black
UK
pudding
bready
is.
bits.
So Aggravator, what's going on? He said they said black pudding is the good of the gods. Is it though? It looks like a log of poo.
It definitely is.
And I
It's
forget what
really
Yorkshire
nice.
pudding. Hold on, Yorkshire pudding.
And it's pronounced Yorkshire pudding.
Oh, I'm sorry, Yorkshire. That's not that's a freaking.
Yeah, it's just.
That's a piece of bread.
Yeah, that's not pudding either.
Oh, it's a caramel sauce.
No, it's gravy.
Nope, that's gross. Oh, is the food. I like the arrow, the arrow emoji. That's funny.
So it's the food of the gods.
The food of the gods. That's better than a Yorkshire pudding. I can't pronounce places in the US either. Like there's Louisville, not Louisville. Louisville. Most puddings are thick bread type of stuff. I mean, not if you're in America and you eat Insta pudding.
You just need the only requirement is that it needs to be sweet.
That is true. That is true.
But actually, blood pudding is actually a little bit sweet.
Really?
And I don't know if that is from the blood actually, because I don't think they add any sugar to it.
That's interesting.
Hmm.
Maybe they're adding a sweetener.
Oh yeah, okay. So I'm looking at one recipe here. It says 2 tablespoons of dark syrup or treacle or molasses. So maybe they do add a little bit of sweetness to it.
Oh, Twin Maples is by Chesapeake Bay. My uncle was stationed there in the Navy, but yeah, I'm in. So I don't know Virginia. Twin Maples mentioned yesterday, I think it was, we were in the chat, and he mentioned he was in. I just saw Virginia, and I saw North or whatever I saw. I was like, I don't know Virginia. I live in the DC suburbs. I'm in Reston, so I'm in Fairfax County, so I'm like literally 20 miles outside of Washington DC. So I'm pretty much as city as they come when it comes to Virginia. Twin Maples is in real Virginia. I'm in fake Virginia, I call it.
Excellent.
Yorkshire puddings were traditionally eaten with jam as a sweet pudding,
There you
better
go.
with roast meat and gravy, though. Interesting. It's just you call puddings different than we call a pudding.
Yeah.
Okay. So is there anything we missed when it comes to what we were going to talk about today? I'm pretty sure I think I kept us on track better than most streams
You
today.
did a good job today, I think.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you.
So good that I haven't even bullied you today, I think.
You have not insulted me one time. Do you want to get one insult in before we end?
No, I thought I'd just say fuck all the time. It's good.
I know where you are, Nicole. Oh, stalker. Do you know where I live? That's kind of creepy. You're Justin Nova. I'm just messing with you.
Twin
DC
Maples.
suburb,
Drop some
about an
black
hour and a
pudding in
half
her
away.
letterbox.
What's that?
Drop some black pudding in your letterbox.
Leave it outside my door, please. About an hour and a half. Yeah, I was stationed at
And
Langley.
dip it in chocolate and say, here's your weekly carbs.
Ooh,
And then she will bite
yes.
into it and she get that blood pudding. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, please do dip it in chocolate. Yeah, I was stationed at Langley for about 5, 6 years. Just know the region. I was about to say, if you could pinpoint my building, please do leave some goodies outside my door. I'd greatly appreciate it. I called her a loser for you, Pim. Oh, thanks. He did
Thank
earlier.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you, butter daddy, daddy butter, whatever.
That's wrong
Combination.
waste of chocolate. Yeah. So, um, real quick, I have coming up on the YouTubes, I am doing a Jersey live chat with fellow Jersey girl Erin from the YouTube channel Low Carbist. We're going to be chatting Monday night at 7 p.m. That's going to be super fun. And then on the 29th, I'm doing a Halloween stream. I promise you it will be Halloween themed. We won't be doing Christmas in October. But we're doing a Halloween stream a Sunday at noon. And yeah, just have a couple collabs coming. The one collab that I am most looking forward to just got booked today with Pim's other half. Pim is the better half. Pim's other half.
Hey, you better be careful with the
Yeah, I
wording
gotta be
here.
careful.
Yes.
Wifey's other half, Bart, we are going to do a live reaction
I thought you were going
with
to say three.
what's that?
I thought you were going to say threesome.
We're gonna be doing a virtual threesome. Oh, kitty. But yeah, we're gonna be doing a live reaction of I didn't realize she was pretty clear walking. Usually she pixelates, but yeah, that kitty was clear into the spider web.
Yeah.
But
The
no, we're
doomsday
doing
cat.
a live reaction of the Dr. Chafee debate. So I already did a video of that. So it is oh my gosh, I think he wants to do the whole thing. It's like a 2 hour and change debate, and we're gonna do a live stream of the entire thing. It's gonna be a live streaming marathon of that entire debate. That's going to be on November 9th at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So yeah, that's gonna be a good one.
When is
Yeah,
that?
what's
What
that?
day? What day?
That is November 9th, which is a Thursday.
You serious? Oh, your Thursday. That's fine.
My Thursday. I don't know where the heck you are. You're
Well, it's
Friday.
Friday for me.
Yeah, you're in the future. My Thursday at 4 p.m.
We
Eastern.
usually do things on Thursdays, like kayaking and
Oh,
things.
Bart
I'm
was
like,
almost
has
in.
he
I
booked
almost got,
something else?
ooh.
Sleep outside, you motherfucker.
Oh, I almost got Bart in trouble. My bad.
Yeah.
If you're watching the replay, Bart, you're probably not because these are crazy. Today was kind
Yeah.
of tame, though. Today was good. But yeah, if you're watching the replay, my bad, Bart. But yeah, that's going to be fun. Thursday, November 9th, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I guess Friday,
Oh, good.
New Zealand
Yeah.
time at whatever time of day that is. What time is that? Your time? How far into the future?
5 p.m. Let me see, because you just had daylight savings then as well, haven't you? So you said the 9th?
Yeah.
So that, what? At 5 p.m.? Well, have fun, because I'm in bed then. It's like 11 p.m. here. Have fun with that.
5
I guess.
p.m. my time.
Yeah.
Oh, it's 11 p.m.
What?
his time?
Or did I look the wrong
Oh,
way?
yeah, you're 16 hours.
No. Sorry, no, it's not. It's 11 a.m. here. Sorry.
Yeah.
That's better.
Yeah. But that's going to be a marathon live stream. I actually thought I was going to be setting up the stream link, but he said he's going to set it up. I was like, oh, he doesn't use StreamYard. He uses Zoom and he makes things complicated because we can't have our sounds going the way he does it.
He always makes things complicated.
Yeah.
I didn't say that.
Well, Renee wants to know how the weather is in the future. How's the weather, Pim? Because you're on Friday now, right?
It's a blue sky and it's sunny, and I'm gonna go outside in a little bit when we're finished here. It looks beautiful, but every morning it's been really foggy for the last week, and then it's cleared up. So it's spring. It's nice. I'm happy because I blame the weather for everything, for my mood. Exactly what I would tell my clients to not do. I'm like, it's nice weather. I'm in a good mood.
Well, Bart was wearing a heavy coat in his most recent video. So is it still like cold?
It's cold at night, so it takes a while before the house is heating up. So I'm actually cold in here right now.
Gotcha. Okay.
Like I need to jump so I get warm.
All right. So last comment. Twin Maples. You might be close enough to come for Friendsgiving. Half hog, cooking it on my big smoker. Oh, that sounds so good.
I wish I was close enough.
I know. Yeah, when is Friendsgiving? Let's connect on IG. Let me drop my IG link in the chat here. And let's DM me.
Hey, Nicole.
Call me. Okay, so yeah, so I like I said, want to be respectful because Pam is just starting out her day. It's almost 6 p.m. my time here at night, so it's getting pretty dark here. But thank you all for joining us, and thank you, Pim, for it's been a while. It's been usually we were doing good at once a month, but we kind of fell through. So it was good to catch up and get a chat going again. Next month we'll do this again.
Yes.
And I'll try to keep us on track.
You were pretty good. I must say, you're pretty good today. It was just the theme that wasn't on track, but that's different.
I mean all right. So thank you all for joining us for this awesome emotional eating, addiction, food freedom chat. I think it's a very important topic. Maybe we'll do various topics around this area, but if there's something specific you want Pam and I to talk about next month, send us a DM or comment in the bottom of this video on whoever channel you're watching from, and we'll definitely get that going. We would love to have some suggestions. But yeah, so thank you all for tuning in. Enjoy the rest of your evening or start of your day, wherever you're tuning in from, and have a happy and healthy day. See you later, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.